Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for joining today. If you are new here, please do not forget to subscribe. So I'm here today to talk about some updates for my people who are watching me from Nigeria, or for those who are using the Naira accounts. All right, this is for those of you who want to travel to Canada or who intend to move to Canada very soon. I want to tell you that especially those I spoke with on a one-on-one call, the proof of funds that you will be needing now has changed, and you need to do a new calculation. All right, as I speak, this most especially goes to Nigerians, those who are using a Naira accounts. If you intend to, before, let me put it that way, before you could use 350, 330, 350 to do your calculation. You already know how you are going to do the calculation to calculate your proof of funds. But now the figures have changed. As a matter of fact, presently it looks like it's you are going to be using 450. A lot of changes are happening, let me put it this way. And first, let me start with IRCC. A lot of changes have occurred with IRCC, and those of you that will be applying for visitors visas, study visas, any type of visas to Canada, make sure you check IRCC very well, because I am saying so because I have checked. I will be bringing some of the updates to you in the days to come. All right, now let's go back to the proof of funds issue. There is a new policy with the CBN in Nigeria, and instead of calculating proof of funds, all right, before most people were using 330, 350, but as it stands right now, the rate is going to be between 330 to 600, all right, or even 615. So please, this is to draw your attention so that you know. Now, this is what you are going to do. Instead of calculating, because right now as I speak to you, it looks like the rates, all right, depending on the policies in Nigeria, the rates now is going to look around between 400, 450. So to be on the safe side, you should do this calculation on 600. 550, 600. 550 is not even an option. Do it with 600, all right? So as to be on the safe side. Remember, I have always said that Canada, they will not hesitate to drop your application. Remember, these changes does not affect them. They don't know about these changes. You are the one who is going to be out. In fact, you are the one who is supposed to take action. You are the one applying for the visa, so you need to make sure you get the right amounts into your bank account. All right, my Nigerian people, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. So like I said, make sure you do your calculations to 600. Let's assume that maybe you have to prove $10,000 for living costs and your tuition fee is $20,000. Now make sure all that money goes into your bank account, and if you are using maybe 350, 400, you may get something around maybe 14,000, 15,000 naira. Right now, if you use 600, you are going to get maybe around 18 million. I'm talking about million, not thousand. 18 million naira. Right now, let's assume that maybe you just needed something like 14,000, or on the day you are doing the calculation, it has dropped maybe by 0.5. What I will say you should do now is use 6, because remember, you need to get more money into the account. You are not just getting any amount, you need to get more money. Remember, proof of funds, when you are doing proof of funds, you have to get your living costs, your tuition fee, miscellaneous. Miscellaneous means that the money you are going to use for flight to return back to Nigeria. Remember, when you are applying for this thing, you need to always emphasize on you are returning back to your home country. So the miscellaneous is the flight ticket to bring you back home. It is not the flight to take you to Canada, because that is already. So I would always encourage you to increase your miscellaneous to at least $5,000. That's why I'm saying that use 6. All right, use 6 so that it will help you release a lot of stress from your body. Remember, immigration officers always look for just the slightest thing to drop your application, to reject you. But that is not what we need. So like I said, please use 600. all right, if you intend to migrate. I'm explaining this because even yesterday I was talking to someone. I hope they see this video. We were already discussing, and the money they needed was not enough because they are moving with families. But right now, as it stands, the money needs to increase. All right, remember, you need money for yourself. Dependence times 12, first dependent times 12, second dependent times 12. You already know what I'm talking about. Now let's go to the second update. The second update is about Lithuania. If you intend to immigrate to Lithuania, Remember, you are not going to be getting a visa this time. What you are going to be getting is a TRP, which is a temporary residence permit. And remember, I told you guys that if you are a Cameroonian, you should follow Lebanon or Jordan. All right, the details, I already have a video about that. So now this is an information someone gave me yesterday who is also applying. Please make sure you do the necessary checks and try and apply as fast as possible. She said, "Good evening, Milton. This is just an update on the Lithuanian visa issue. I just want to suggest that those who are waiting for visa appointment should instead apply for temporary residence permit. Appointments are available for temporary residence permit, and I'm in a group where students were from different nations who are to study this year have already been issued their temporary residence permit. One Indian guy applied on the 29th of May, and his trip is already out. All right. So those who are to study in Lithuania in September should instead be trying to apply for temporary residence permit via the VFS Global Centers. Urgent temporary residence permit process costs 240 euros to be paid on your appointment day, and it takes a month for your decision and the temporary residence permit is out. So guys, you are going to be getting the temporary residence permit this time around, and she is saying that an urgent one is 240 euros and it takes a month. Remember, I didn't say I am going to do this process for you. Remember, I didn't say she is an agent or she is going to do the process for you. I'm only sharing this. Make sure you follow the right procedure. It's very important for you to be aware of all these processes, because if you do not follow the right procedure, you may not get what you are looking at. And remember that not just you alone, a lot of people are competing for this stuff. So you have to be patient, all right? Do the right thing so that you don't get... let me just quickly do a video. This is for those who want to use the visitors visas to immigrate to Canada. Please don't sell your properties, okay? Remember, the visitors visa is not a resident visa. It's just a temporary visa. So when you go in there are two ways you can do it. You can change the visitor's visa to a work permit. Then you can change it to a study permit. First, I will talk about the work permit because that is what is pretty easy to do. You can equally go to school, but again, you have to start from short courses. It's not easy, all right? Remember, you need to be paying for those courses, and short courses are very expensive. Now, for the work permit, you need to first of all apply for a job. Get an employer. If you've been watching my YouTube channel, you would understand how to go about this. Get an employer who is willing to hire you. Then when the employer hires you, they are going to give you every document you need. They will sponsor you. Then they will give you what is called LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment. They have to apply for it first from the government. Then the government is going to approve it. Now, remember, the LMIA is from the employer, and the government needs to know if the employer actually posted that job and there was no Canadian citizen or no permanent resident in Canada who was willing to take up that job. That is the reason why they are giving to you who is on a visitor's visa. Most of the time, the visitor's visa take maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, sometimes even 4 or 5. And now, most employers, they are not willing to follow this procedure because they have to wait and do some follow-up. Though it's $1,000, but it's not really a problem to most people. The problem is just the process. But again, if the employer sees that you have the qualities, of course, you have to send your CV. Your qualifications may equally count here. Then hopefully they are going to employ you. So I would say, do not be discouraged. If you think that you have the necessary documents to apply for a visitor's visa, why not use it and go into Canada? As a gentleman, you can cope, all right? If you can hustle up in your own home country and save money, while in Canada, you can hustle up and find a job. It's just easy, but know that you would need your employer to apply for LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment, Labor Market, yes, LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment, for you to work legally and to change your visitor's visa to a work permit. And from there, you can begin to bring in your family into Canada, probably, yeah, maybe 3 months, 6 months. Remember, you have a maximum of 6 months to stay in Canada, and you cannot stay more than 6 months. But your visitor's visa, it can be given for maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 years, depending on your passport duration, even 10 years. It depends. right? So this is something you need to put into consideration. Don't sell your things yet, but if you are going into Canada, I will advise you to strategize so that you know what you're going to do when you arrive in Canada. I wish you all the best. Please note that for more information, you can always follow my YouTube channel for details. All right, detailed videos on my channel. Till we meet again. For the study, how to change visitors to study permit, I'm going to talk about that later. But remember, you need to apply for a study permit from inside, let me say a study visa from inside of Canada, still on IRCC, and all requirements still stands. I shall bring the video very soon. Till we meet again. Bye bye.